VST here, OnePlus Tech, welcome back on my channel. And yes, that's a synthesizer. You've probably already seen the title of the video. It's going to be the OnePlus 9, upcoming OnePlus 9, and the already shown and kind of like premiered Xiaomi Mi 11. But before we start about that, just want to show you guys some old tech. And yes, this here indeed is a synthesizer, right? It's a Casio one. And I just want to show you guys also another product. This here is the Casio Digital Diary. It's the SF3300A, but just look at this, right? I also want to explain to you why I'm showing these devices to you, but just pay attention to all the knobs here, right? How the knobs kind of like look and the way things used to be, let's say 20 years ago. So this is really tech from 20 years ago, right? And those are completely different products. This was really a big hit in Japan, and this was probably also a big hit outside Japan. It's a synthesizer. Then fast forward 10 years after this release, we're gonna get to the phones, and this was the Nokia N70. Just look at this beauty, right? Almost same years, guys. We have this Sony Xperia, that's the mini one. I think, what is it, X8 was that one. This is the X8 and this is the X10 mini, alright? And just pay attention to this phone here, guys. When you do like this, you're gonna get also a physical keyboard, right? So all these phones released like probably 2-3 years within the first one. Just see how different they are. And still, you know, you can just tell, okay, this is a Sony Ericsson phone, right? This of course has the physical keyboard. This doesn't have it, right? But you can just see the uniformity of the design, but in the same way, they really are individual phones, right? So you can just tell, okay, that's a Nokia phone. See a slider on the back. This here is a Sony Ericsson phone. So the old tech, they had the spirit and also the individual design that kind of like sets them apart from everything else, because you know we used to have competition, right? And we're gonna fast forward right now to the very end of this crazy awful year 2020. So we are now at the end of this, I would say, a very awful year, which probably a lot of people will agree. And yesterday Xiaomi released the Mi 11 for the Chinese market. And just look at this, right? I mean, this is really how the Mi 11 looks like, okay? And I want to show you guys something else. A few days ago, right, a OnePlus 9 5G prototype has emerged on eBay, and I think even it has been sold for $6,000. But look at this, right? So, OnePlus 9, Xiaomi Mi 11, right? They almost look the same, guys. And if you read the article in Android Police about the Xiaomi 11, you see that they dropped the iPhone styled camera to what is now the new layout, the cake layout. But where did the individuality go, guys? I just have the feeling that the modern Android phone makers are just doing the phones like somebody will take a Lego and put something apart. So you know, if you take a Lego and you mix it up with another Lego, you can still make something, right? So it's using the same parts, the same system chips, the same camera sensors, okay, which I pretty much understand because that's the modern design also in the cars. But what about the externals, right? At least they can make it look different. We all know this happens in all of the industries where we have, let's say, light industry, heavy industry. If we take the car market, right? If you drive a Passat or you drive a Seat or an Audi, you probably will have the same parts inside because they all do belong to the one company manufacturer. But still they have this very individual design which sets them apart. And then you know that you can buy a Seat or a Skoda or a Volkswagen or Audi, and they're going to be like in different classes and segments, right? So you're going to pay this additional money for the brand and design. What happens here? Chinese smartphone makers late 2020. Even Samsung is pretty much doing the same. Everybody's copying the same designs. I even, you know, don't want to go and look about the specifics, right? But pretty much in the Mi 11 we're gonna have 120Hz adaptable refresh rate, which is not something bad, which kind of was missing in the Mi 10 phones. And the Mi 10 phones, they had some very nice examples like the Mi 10 Ultra and etc, right? And of course they were not selling good because they really were lacking this 120 refresh rate, so it was not really a flagship phone, like the same thing OnePlus was doing when they were selling the OnePlus 8 and the 8T without having the wireless charging, and it's a $5 function, you know, just put a call inside. So it's not very clever that you really separate your segments based on things that really are very, very cheap for you to put them down. Okay, just look again at these things, right? Very distinguishable, very individual design, right? Look at this, right? You know, even my kid, my smaller kid, like 2 years, he held this thing in the hand and he started to talk like he already knew it was a phone, right? So I'm just thinking 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the mobile manufacturers, they had it, right? They had it. why don't we have it right now? You know, I don't want to pay top money for the phone that will look the same like the other phone, right? So this is the Mi 11. Again, I'm just showing you guys, this is the Mi 11, and this here is gonna be the OnePlus 9. And you all seen the leaks for the upcoming Samsung Galaxy S21. It's probably looking a bit the same, right? Probably even the Samsung Galaxy will have a bit more individualistic design because they're gonna put the layer here a bit. But what I'm saying is that I'm a bit frustrated, right? Because they all look the same, right? And it doesn't really matter what they put inside because it's still the same. So we just are now reduced to only two factors that can separate it. The one factor is the mobile operating system. We know we have the Oxygen OS, we have the Samsung One UI, we have the Huawei UI, we have the Xiaomi Mi UI. And then the second factor that separates it is the outside design, right? And if the design is the same outside, right? And if internally you have the same chips and bits and parts, then what else is left? I mean, then why should I really pay this money to that vendor and this money to the other vendor? It's practically gonna be the same, right? So you see where I'm going with that one? I really hope that for 2020 gonna get some new fresh phone designs, new form factors. And you know, Samsung is pushing these boundaries with the folded phones, and a lot of people are laughing, but they have foldable phones that are now mass produced, and I know people that are using them, right? They're maybe not perfect. We're still at the second and a half generation, but in another 2-3 years, this is going to be the future, guys. And one very important point, you know, I said in the beginning of the video that the Xiaomi Mi 10 didn't have the higher refresh rate. Same happens with the iPhone. iPhone don't care. People still buying iPhones, they only do 60 Hz, right? And I think only the iPad Pro had 120 Hz. Nobody cares, you know. It's very, very fluid. My wife has an iPhone, she can never notice difference, right? It does not lag. And then something else I wanted to show you. There is this tweet from this gentleman, Queen Nielsen. He's saying the Android phone makers in a nutshell, right? So once Apple premiered the iPhone 12 and everybody was mocking them for leaving the charger out in the same time Apple were optimizing, of course, their delivery, claiming that they're doing it for the carbon footprint, you know, for the environment. And then Xiaomi will say, hey, don't worry, we didn't leave anything out of the box with the new Mi 10T Pro. I only know one person that got it and he sold it in 2 days, right? Now fast forward this month, we have the post from late June, Mi 11 packed lightly. In response to the call of technology and environmental protection, the included charge is cancelled from the box. And maybe they're giving some vouchers and etc. But in the end, why guys, the Android phone makers are still playing catch up in late 2020. iPhone removed the headphone jack, everybody mocks them, boom. All the Android phone makers gradually removed that one. iPhone removed the charging port, probably in future they're gonna do the same, right? It is still, you know, like Android phone makers are playing catch up to Apple, and there is this only company, Google, that made a small revolutionary breakthrough with the mobile photography, and I think Apple is pretty much catching up, right? And Apple is using a very old design, right? So, you know, if Apple are putting a new, fresh design, probably gonna jump again back to the Apple bandwagon. I'm not joking here, right? Because I've been a big Apple user for a bit of years. But Apple are doing quite nice. They're still selling phones with the same old design that is already like 6-7 years old. People don't care, they use it because it works, right? So this is kind of like my opinion about the upcoming Xiaomi Mi 11 and the OnePlus 9. Please, Android phone makers, just make a phone that stands out, right? And I'm looking to Xiaomi and to OnePlus because you guys are one of the biggest players, right? I know that Asus and other companies, they have a bit more individual phones, and LG and DSN, etc. But I'm just looking to one of the bigger players here, which is Xiaomi and OnePlus, right? So please, guys, listen to this and make this happen because we don't want to pay a lot of money for the very same product. Same internal, same externals, pretty much the same, you know, just put here Android phone. It doesn't really make sense if it's Xiaomi or OnePlus, they all look the same, right? Guys, we're gonna catch up in my next video. VST over and bye.